1.21 is officially fully out, and I'd like to go through all of these new blocks and see what we can do with them as just a nice little building, not so much a guide, but just brainstorming session. Let's go with that. And I'm also going to do this mostly without shaders, just so you can see how it would look for the majority of people, right? I do want to start first, of course, with all of the new tough blocks. Finally, tough is getting some love, and I'm so happy that they're actually putting effort into making tough a very versatile block. Of course, before 1.21, this is the only tough block you had. Literally, this is it. And don't get me wrong, this is awesome. I actually love this tough block so much because it was a very good kind of gradient tool between deep slate and cobblestone. So now you may be thinking, would you be able to use all the other tough blocks for the same reason? And I am here to say that yes, you freaking can. You absolutely can. Let me get this one as well, and I guess that would probably be the closest. You absolutely can. Just look at that. This is not a super, in-depth showing of what you can do with it, but now you can do these gradients with the bricks, with the polished, with the smooth variants, and along with the rougher cobbled versions. And it's absolutely fantastic now that you can make use of all of this different stuff. And I'd also like to point out these chisel designs, absolutely amazing. Not just for walls, but for floors and ceilings as well. I am very excited to work with this because I want to see, look at that. That already adds so much detail just because of the chiseled variety. That is actually really nice. And I can see this working really well with polished blocks as well. So I'm just kind of imagining floor designs maybe. Obviously that's not a one and done, but I mean, look at that. And then maybe I want to swap it out for something a little bit more ornate. And there you go. Now you got something a little bit more interesting looking. But just the amount of diversity now that we have with these stone gradients from between deep slate and regular stone with the tough blocks is just absolutely incredible. And I just want to add, I mean, these, especially the textures with the bricks for some reason, I'm really loving the brick texture. It looks so nice. And the chiseled varieties look incredible. So this is the chiseled tough. It's chiseled straight out of the regular tough, and then this is the chiseled tough bricks, which is from the tough bricks. And then polished tough does not have its own chiseled variety, unfortunately, but I'm not complaining. This is already so much right here. If this was all of the new blocks we were getting from this update, I would already be so happy because of how many new opportunities this opens. All right, next is all of the copper stuff, and there is a lot of new copper stuff. I haven't even gotten to that yet. I'll deal with that later. But we have, of course, all the copper oxidization varieties. These already existed, but we've got the chiseled copper and the copper grates as well. Along with, of course, doors and excuse me, sir. I mean, you can already see with chiseled, it just makes things more interesting. And the nice thing I like about the chiseled is that the little bolts in the corners of the copper are in the same place for the chisel variety. It doesn't get rid of them. It's actually, I think it's the exact same 4 pixels. You can kind of see that there. It's a little hard to spot, but you can see the parallels. But it just breaks things up. It's very nice for just making things a little bit better designed. What I don't think we'll end up wanting to do is stuff like this. I don't think that's going to be where copper doors and trapdoors shine. So the really nice thing about copper grates, so chisel copper I feel like is just going to be nice to break up regular copper. I think that's probably going to be the best use of it. And it might also be pretty unique. It almost looks like a fan. Now, I want to... Ooh. Okay, hold on a second. Yes. Okay. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but you can kind of see where I'm getting at with this. It almost looks like a ceiling air conditioner, like a air conditioner unit that you would put on the roof. Yeah, look at that. That actually looks really nice, and it kind of looks like a fan. I wonder if any of the other ones actually look closer. Oh goodness. That one looks nice. That one's a little darker. Yeah, and then once you get into the greens, unless you want to go like a full green design, it's a little rougher. I think the copper actually, like the base copper actually looks probably the best. So you could use that for like a fan design, or of course just like breaking up regular walls and floors with that chiseled design. What I'm really excited about though, so let's say I'm just going to use tough for the walls. So in olden times, right, this would be your best way of making a pipe. Maybe also you would take a cut piece and do that for a corner. Oh, forgot to mention that would work really well with the cut. I'm getting really off track here. My ADHD is showing. But there you go. Yeah, like that it really helps with designs like that. Anyways. So this would basically be the most you could do to simulate a water pipe. Like this would be what you get, right? No longer. I'm going to replace that with that. I'm going to replace, and then you can put water inside, and look at that. It looks like a proper water pipe. Look at that. It's incredible. And then I can take I'm just gonna take one of these, make that underpiece a different color, make one of these, one or two of these a different color. Water pipe. That's so much better. It's so incredible. Look at that. Look at that. And even if I want lava pipes, let's say I wanted a lava pipe. Well, this is the first time I've gotten lava on this. Let's say I wanted it to be a lava pipe. The trapdoors do just as well. Look at that. Look at that. It's incredible. I'm gonna have to upgrade pieces of my actual like Echocraft base just because of this. And not to mention the fact that I can take bricks. Chisel tough. Bricks. There you go. Now it's like a more interesting entry point. Like, I mean, just look at that. Look at that. It's absolutely incredible. And not to mention the fact that you can just take, I'm going to use tough again just for demonstration purposes. And you can imagine this hanging from the ceiling, and all you would really need to add then are like some fences for the sides or something, some kind of fence design. But there you go. Now you've got like a graded walkway. Or there's the design for the railings. Fully done. That's it. So you can kind of see the amount of different, like, it's just incredible. And not to mention the fact that the doors, super unique design. I'm really liking this. And it's just, it allows for, so depending on what color you wanted to go with, you either have that or you have that. Two completely different colors, but they both fit because they're just, it's copper. I mean, it'll work with deep slate pretty much every time. But of course, they're different door colors. The more door colors you have, the better, because there's more you can work with. Same with trapdoors. You don't have to use them for pipes. You can use them for whatever the heck you want. And the great thing about the trapdoors is that they don't work like the iron trapdoors. You don't have to have redstone to power them. You can just flip them whenever you want, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited about all the copper blocks, especially messing around with like piping and stuff. I'm really excited to have a little bit more of like an industrial feel with my next Echocraft base. Just a little like hint. So I'm going to be working with pipes and stuff. It's going to be great. Now we're getting a little bit farther away from traditional building blocks, but I think there's a lot of stuff worth mentioning here. So we've got the vault and the trowel spawner, which are very interesting. Trial spawner, trial key, ominous storage key. I mean, decoration blocks maybe just for item frames. I'm just now messing around with this. Bows. Okay, there's one of the music discs. Wind charges, smithing templates, riptide, arrows of poison, diamond armor, honey bottles, diamonds, diamond axes. Yeah, this is really cool stuff. I'm kind of excited to explore the trial chambers too. Stick around and subscribe if you haven't already, because I think we'll be doing that on Echocraft, a collaborative attack of the trial chambers. That's going to be really fun. I can't think of too many uses, especially since, you know, they're spawners. You can't just pick them up in regular Minecraft in survival mode. But I did just look at this. It reminds me of fans again. So, and it's got the smoke particles. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so if you're in creative mode and you want a cool like little like fan thing, trial spawner is your go-to, I guess. Is it on the bottom spawn? No, it's not. That's unfortunate. That does almost look like netherite, though. If you're okay with the sound effects. Oh. Look at those particles. I'm not sure what you do with that, but that's kind of neat. The trial spawners, I'm a little more hesitant to know, like, kind of what you can mess around with. It might be interesting, like, if you're in creative mode, as long as you cover up the top as, like, a type of window, almost. Like, a really dark, like, I'm imagining dark oak kind of color patterns. Yeah, I could see that working as like a type of window if you're in creative mode. That could work, like a wrought iron window or something. But anyway, all that stuff to mess with. And also we've got the new music discs. They're music discs. I really like all of them. So I don't know what you want to do with those in terms of building. Just kind of place them around. Then we've got the heavy core, which of course makes the mace, but you can place it down. Unfortunately, you can't place it diagonally, which is super unfortunate. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was thinking it would be really neat if you could put this on top of the note block and it would make that sound whenever you played it. Mojang, if you're listening, please do that. That would be so cool if you could make the heavy core sound effect whenever you put it on top of a note block. That would be really cool. I'm not exactly sure what all you could do with this. I think it would be a neat block for like vanilla. I'm thinking you could kind of utilize it as some kind of like weird instrumentation, like almost like a weird speaker system. Oh, there's one of the new paintings. Fantastic. There's one of the new paintings. So let's say we had one of those. I did my classic mouse trick. And speaker? Or like the actual computer box or something? I don't know. The heavy core is a weird block. More of a collectible, honestly, than anything else. Might be worth like placing down for something. I'm really lost. If you have any ideas for what you could use the heavy core for, please let me know in the comments. I'm kind of at a loss, but there's something for it. I can guarantee there's some use case for it. The crafter though is a very neat building block. Not only is it like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a neat block. Like, that looks cool. Now I don't like that the red dots are only on the back side of it. I don't know, some kind of weird like redstone-y floor design could probably work for the top of the block, but I'm not entirely sure. The real interesting thing is the sides, the back, and the bottom. The bottom especially is really neat because you could take this and mix it in with actual tough blocks. So let's, and it's not symmetrical, and it's also dependent on which way you place it. The bottom of it does mix more with deep slate than it does with tough. So you could do some sort of pattern probably with it. I don't know. It might be good for little like technical details. I know Good Times with Scar already used it for little mechanical looking details for the side of its train engine. So stuff like that, you can use it for little technical details. Might be kind of useful for that, because it does seem to just utilize a modified version of the oak plank texture with kind of like a stone brick almost surrounding it, with of course the little redstone highlights and engravings. Now there's copper bulbs. Copper bulbs, if only they reverted the redstone mechanic that they had perfect before, but they didn't. So now I gotta talk about them in a building sense. I like them. I think they will also work super well as kind of just detail, because they look almost like the chisel copper, but more different. They're a little bit darker. It's odd, but I like it. And of course, there is the mechanic of it oxidizes, but the more it's oxidized, the less light it releases. So it actually gets brighter as you oxidize it, which is super unique. Like, that is a super, super cool thing to implement. You can see how dim it really gets. So if I take one of these, and the great thing about it is that you only have to turn it on once. You don't have to permanently power it. So that is so little light, it's almost ridiculous. Like this one, you can barely tell there's a light source. This one, you can tell there's a light source, but it's very, very dim. You can use them fantastic for detailing with copper and things that go well with copper. In fact, I could even see this working there almost as like a an indent showing that it's kind of going around, and that almost kind of looks watery as well. So I don't know, that might work for the corners, for the edges, especially if you put, ooh, that directly is like, that goes straight up and down, that goes diagonal. Now that is pretty fun. I do like that. Okay, and it's empty in the middle, and it has the dark thing in the center, and it's got that like parallax effect. That is super cool. You can see how like the dot in the middle is like, clearly it's got a 3D element to it. That's super cool. I like that a lot. Okay, so there's another thing you can use copper bulbs for. Ooh, I almost forgot about to talk something with the crafter. Okay, so crafter, bottom of the crafter is super close to polished deep slate. And things I often use, the cool thing about the crafter is that it's an immovable tile entity, at least in Java. If it's in Bedrock, I don't actually know if you can move it or not. Test it yourself and let me know in the comments. But the thing I like about tile entities being immovable, despite the fact that if they were movable, it would be kind of cool. But I actually do kind of like that they're immovable, because you can use them for decoration blocks that are similar to other blocks around them whenever you're putting slime machines in like contained areas. This would look terrible if I had to use obsidian here, because obsidian's immovable, but I can use a tile entity like a furnace that looks a little bit nicer. So now we've got something that works with something that's a little bit darker. So we have the crafter. And there you go. Now I'm pretty sure we've got a dark, deep slate colored, one-sided at least, immovable tile entity. And one that works pretty well for oak wood as well. So I can do the same thing. Whoops. I can do the same thing for oak wood. And I'm going to do this because I think this works pretty well. And there you go. It has the oak wood texture. So there you go. Now we've got two new kind of colors for immovable tile entities for redstone, like centric builds, where you have a piston machine in the middle, but you have like a row of blocks that you don't want to be moved. Now you've got a new block that can be that immovable tile entity. because most of them we have are like blast furnaces, the regular furnace. You've got the smoker as well, which is a pretty good one. Barrels are great as well. Barrels and smokers work really well together alongside cobblestone. But you know, it is limited in how you can use it. Copper bulbs. Back to copper bulbs. The super neat thing about them is that you only have to, like, you don't have to keep them on. You literally turn them on and they stay on. They're a little expensive because of that, but they're super neat. And I'm imagining that now you don't actually have to like keep a lever attached to it, right? You don't have to do that and make it look super ugly. You can actually do nothing at all, because you don't have to have like an actual redstone source attached to the street lamp. You can make them disconnected. Sure, you've got the orange color, but I mean, if you're okay with like lower luminance, you can switch it for something a little bit different. And there you go. That's all you need. Like that. and you can work them perfectly with like this one, and it looks fantastic. Like, now you've got a new kind of street lamp block that you don't have to keep permanently powered like you do redstone lamps or something, or rely on something that can't be powered at all, where glowstone or sea lanterns, or like honestly sea lanterns for most modern things cover your bases, but it's also got that weird animation that some people don't like. Glowstone is, you know, it's flawed because it's glowstone. And then of course we've got the new armor trims. I just kind of wanted to show them off because I like them. They're pretty neat looking. They're very unique actually. The bolt and flow and then bolt respectively. They're armor trims. You use them for armor. You put up armor stands for decoration. That's kind of the most you can do. I don't see any. I mean, that could be a kind of funny like little face. If you want like a little face poking out of the ground, that'd be kind of funny. I could see that happening. I could see someone do, or out of the, ooh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of, I mean, that's pretty niche because it gets darkened. Oh, but if you have shaders on, it doesn't. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then of course you've got the 3 new decorated pots with the shards. Yes, they are called shards. So the flow pottery shard, the guster pottery shard, which is literally just a breeze, and the scrape pottery shard, which is an axe. New pottery shards, more gooder, more variety with the pots. I'm not going to complain about it too much. I mean, they're pots. Kind of nice to have one that's just kind of a geometric thing. So you could have pillars that just have geometric shapes on them, rather than specific like engravings, right? So this is going to stand out a lot more and kind of seem a bit odd as compared to just a geometric like little flow pattern, like a little spiral. Even this kind of stands out a little bit more. But there you go. I think that probably just about covers it. That's actually it was actually a much longer video than I was anticipating, and I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, I forgot the paintings. Just look up new 1.21 paintings if you really want to know what all of them look like. But they're super neat looking. I love the style. They actually brought back the old artist for a lot of these. Like that one's super cool. That one's neat. That one's really nice. I kind of like that one as well, because now we got a new like 1x2 painting that's not just a person. This one is iconic. Pack.png. These are all kind of neat. I like that one. That one's kind of like Renaissance era almost. There's so much in this update for builders, and I'm super excited to see what people end up figuring out with some of this stuff. Man, I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not going to get distracted anymore. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.